Mayday, mayday, mayday. Alert, alert, alert. Welcome back to Vision TV. Right now, it's a very exciting time to be a console gamer. In today's episode, we will be talking about the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I will give out general information and let each of you make an informed decision based off of the information provided. Now, with that being said, let's talk about these new consoles. PlayStation 5. The release date is 12 November 2020 in the USA and 19 November 2020 will be the worldwide release date. The physical media edition, aka the regular PlayStation 5, costs $499. The digital edition costs $399. Now let's dive into the console specifications. Coming up, the CPU will be a Zen 2 x86 64 AMD Ryzen. GPU will be an AMD Radeon RDNA 2 base graphics. It will offer ray tracing acceleration. For the system memory, it will be GDDR6 16 gigabytes and will offer 448 gigabytes of bandwidth. SSD comes in at a whopping 825 gigabytes. The read bandwidth is 5.5 gigabytes. For the optical drive, it will offer Ultra HD Blu-ray, BD-ROM, BDR, and DVD. For the PlayStation 5 game disc, they will be Ultra HD Blu-ray up to 100 gigabytes. Video out will continue to be the HDMI port with support of 4K 120 Hz TVs, 8K TVs, VRR specified by HDMI version 2.0. The audio will be coming from Tempest 3D Audio Tech. The dimensions of the console will be approximately 390 mm by 104 mm by 260 mm. The ports of the console will be USB Type-C, high-speed USB, stereo headset jack, charging terminals. The wireless will continue to be Bluetooth version 5.1. And also the controller, which is offering new effects via haptic feedback. And it also has a new design. So, things to consider for you if you plan on purchasing the PlayStation 5. There are two major differences between the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition versus PlayStation 5. And that's the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive and the price. The PlayStation 5 Digital Edition does not include a disc drive and costs $399, while the PlayStation 5 does and costs $499. Physical media cannot be played on the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, including PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 games, DVDs, and 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray movies. For disc upgrades, it's worth remembering that if you want to take advantage of free PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 upgrades, you'll need to use the PlayStation 5 disc drive to transfer physical PlayStation 4 games to the next-gen console. Here are some things to consider. If you plan on buying the digital edition of the PlayStation 5, what will happen if you have a sudden loss of internet connection? Will you always have to have a network connection to play games? Also, since everything will be digital, it may behoove you to buy a terabyte hard drive for more storage space. Which version of the PlayStation 5 should you buy? Both the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition and PlayStation 5 are good options, so it'll depend upon what you want. If you plan to purchase all of your PlayStation 5 games from the PlayStation Store, then it may be worth saving money and space with the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition. However, it's worth keeping in mind that you'll never be able to purchase and play physical games on the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition. including any retail titles you may have purchased for the PS4. The PlayStation 5, meanwhile, will give you a bit more flexibility, allowing you to use a combination of physical and digital media. If you own any retail PlayStation 4 games, then you'll be able to play these, although both consoles will support backwards compatible games purchased on the PlayStation 4. Next in line for discussion is the Xbox Series X. Microsoft is releasing the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S on 10 November 2020. The Xbox Series S succeeds the Xbox One. The Xbox will launch globally November 10th, 2020. Pre-orders start September 22nd. The Xbox Series X is $499 and the Xbox Series S is $299. So let's dive into the specifications for the Xbox Series X. So for the CPU, there'll be 8 cores at 3.8 gigahertz with a custom Zen CPU. GPU will be 12 teraflops. The process will be 7nm enhanced. Memory will be 16 gigabyte GDDR6 with 320-bit bus. The memory bandwidth 10 gigabytes at 560 gigabytes. Internal storage will be 1 terabyte custom NVMe SSD. The optical drive will offer 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray drive. The performance target will be 4K at 60 FPS up to 120 FPS. So, now talking about the Xbox Series S, the specifications are: it will offer 1440p gaming and up to 120 frames per second. It will offer ray tracing support, 512 SSD storage. There will be no disk drive. The GPU will come from AMD RDNA2 GPU. The GPU power is going from 12 to 4 teraflops. The RAM will be 10 gigabytes GDDR6. The performance target is 1440 x 16 frames per second, up to 120 frames per second. The storage is 512 gigabytes. It will display out to HDMI 2.0. Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S. The decision ultimately comes down to what do you specifically want. Do you want more power but spend $499, or spend less for the Xbox Series S and the essentials? This ultimately comes down to user preference. Both consoles will be available as part of the Xbox All Access payment plan, which will cost $24.99 per month for 24 months with no upfront fee. Final verdict. The winner goes to PS5 or Xbox Series X. I will let each of you decide which purchase is better for you. The PlayStation 5 seems to have an edge based on exclusive titles such as Spider-Man Miles Morales, while the Xbox Series X have hardcore fan favorites such as Halo. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. Until next time, visionaries, like, comment, and subscribe.